Hi, everybody. This is Flo from KMS Reviews, and my guest today is Brandon Gallemore. He's a singer and guitarist from the Texas band called Under the Gallows. Hi, Brandon. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Florian. I'm glad to finally get to talk to you, honestly. Been waiting for like a year.
I have a long waiting list. No, not really, but the
No, yeah.
interviews are kind of new. So let's just jump right into it. Give us a quick introduction of the band, and please don't leave any dirty details.
Okay. So yeah, we started essentially. I'll just tell you from the beginning, real quick. I was in the military for about 10 years, and then my best friend Sam Thibault, he's our lead guitarist, and then he's also a death metal guitarist for a band called Lament Configuration. And so I'd gotten divorced, and my ex was Korean, and she went overseas, and so I reached out to Sam, and I left the military. So my whole life was changed about 3 years ago. My dad died. It was a whole thing. And so I was like, I'm going to make a big change in my life. And so I contacted Sam and I said, where are you at? He told me he's in Denton, Texas. And so whenever I got a hold of him, I was like, let's try to work music out. I kind of got made fun of when I first got there because I was a new guy in the music scene out here. The Denton music scene is huge for this part of Texas for sure. DFW, all of that, Dallas. And so I'm kind of stepping into that role here, and people were kind of laughing at me about it. And so I was like, I'm going to write a whole album. But while I was doing that, I was recording these death metal bands with my camera. It's somewhere over there. But yeah, I'd go to all the shows and And so eventually I started writing songs. I'd never sang for anyone in my life. I had been, I sang for the first time when I was 30 in front of a crowd. So I'm 31 now. So, I mean, I wrote that album last year. So I wrote 13 songs and Sam wrote one. So we did his as the bonus song. And then we put all of the songs together. It was just he and I for that first album. And then Brian, our producer, he did bass and all that. And then we had just mechanical or not mechanical, just those drums like what is it, like the producer would, make them. I forgot. My brain is kind of blanking right now. But anyway, my whole point is, so I got through that, and then we did, I got your review last year, which helped a ton. I stayed on that playlist and all that for a while. That helped a ton grow it. And then this year I started writing more. I was like, okay, I'm going to do 15 songs. So I started writing, and then we had an old guy who was also a death metal drummer, and he was like, hey, I want to be in your band. I want to do something different. I have my best friend, and he wants to play bass. So now we have these two groups of so it's Grant and Colton. Grant is our drummer. Colton is the bassist, and they're best friends. And then Sam and I, who we're best friends, and they're 24, 23 years old, and we're 31, me and him. So it's like this generational thing. We're 7 years apart essentially, and we play just good music. And these are the best musicians. I'm the worst musician of the four of us for sure. There's not even a doubt, but I am writing everything. So I'm like, I can kind of hang out, but they're awesome dudes. So that's kind of where we are now. We got to play a lot early on. We have not played a show at all as a as a 4-man group, but it's just COVID.
So you jumped into cold water with the whole music thing?
Yeah. I went cold water. I had been playing guitar since I was 13. My stepdad played. I never took lessons. I don't know music. I don't know how to read it, anything. I don't know anything. And I didn't do choir. It was just one of those things. I was kind of like, I'd played by myself for years, and then I'd been in the military. No one really played in the military. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just play by myself some more. And then when I got out, I realized there's a huge community of people that wants to play music. And I wasn't that bad. That was really the other thing I found. I was like, the first time I played that first night, it was a guy who told me to get up there. And I don't remember why he told me. He just saw me playing one night. And he was like, why don't you get up there and play? And I was like, no. But I did that night, and like the whole room, it was like 50 people, and they loved it. And so I was like, okay, I'll try another week. And so I kept going back, and we did that for like 6 months. Like 5 times a week we'd play, me and Sam. And we would just play for, all kinds of little places around here. They're, little venues, 50 to 100 people usually. And that's how we kind of grew it. And we're still not giant, but we're well known around this area, at least now. And we're getting, we're releasing our second album soon. I don't know if I mentioned that. So we're releasing the next 6 songs are going to be out in just a couple days, actually. And I release them kind of in spurts because this isn't old style music. I mean, if you release a whole album, people's attention spans are so short. They're just going to forget about it in a week or two, so I have to kind of space my songs out, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. But I think I'm getting better as a songwriter. They're not as bland. I think I hated my earlier songs a little bit because they're very organic or ordinary, but organic too. But
But
Yeah,
that's
just
not
their ordinary
something to
songs.
hate. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, I noticed that your new releases cannot be found on Spotify. Is it not found to be there yet, or
So it's yeah, we have 2 days and 2 days it releases. The first three, and then we're going to add the next three really fast right after that. But yeah, the next three come out on the 28th. And I was going to send you as soon as I get the Spotify links, all that information. So
was there a special reason that you put it out on Bandcamp and YouTube
yeah.
beforehand?
So really for me, the main reason, this is kind of funny. So I told you I have 2 kids. My son's youngest son, he's going to be 6. Well, I said his brother's 6. He's going to be 5 on March 28th. And his birthday is on the day I'm choosing to release. So really, I would just want to get the music out. So any of the platforms that allowed me to release the music on the day of, I don't have a big enough audience to care whether or not, I'm 2 or 3 weeks out. So I'm going to release my music, but I do like to set a special day. Like our last album I released on my oldest son, his 6th birthday, so I just I don't get to see them. I don't get to talk to my kids. Their mom is kind of angry and all that. And she's not happy, doesn't want me to talk to them. So I'm kind of reaching out in a way through time. Hopefully they're going to see like, oh, he released this on my birthday,
Okay.
That's really the reason.
These are really special dates for you then that you handpicked instead of that it's only coincidental.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So for me, it's just really to speak to my kids in some way that I can't right now. So hopefully they know like they mattered to me, much later on down the road, because she does not let me talk to them anymore. It's been 2.5 years since I've talked to my kids. So
that's harsh,
yeah, it's a different thing.
If you create new songs, can you describe the songwriting process a bit from scratch to a finished song? So are all the people of the band involved, or does somebody come up with, hey, I got an idea, let's do this and that?
Yeah, it's me. I'm just writing. So I'm basically I'll write. My guitar's right here, so it's so dumb. I mean, this how you know I'm not a musician. So I'll get my guitar and I'll just strum something. I'll find something cool. I'll find a cool sound. And my girlfriend
isn't that how any new song is figured out?
Maybe. I guess I don't really know. And I'll just start. But what I do is funny because I start humming. I hum something to it. I'm like, and then I'll, play something. And then eventually with that hum, I'll keep the same hum sound if I like it, however that's feeling, whatever that feeling is that I get. If I like the sound I'm making, I'm like, okay, I'll start adding words in there, start plugging meaningful words. So each word I write, if you really get to read my lyrics, and that's one thing I pride myself on. I'm not a great musician. I'm like you, actually. I love to write. I'm writing a 50,000 page book. Well, it's 50,000 right now. 50,000 words, and it's trying to get it to 100,000 words, which is like this first Lord of the Rings book. That's really what I'm trying to get to. Okay. And I love music. So every line of music I write and every song I've ever written has double meanings and metaphors and biblical references and all kinds, things that have been around forever that people know, and that I try to get something that someone can attach to, like a thing that they would understand or connect with, or I don't know. So that's kind of how I write, because I feel like music for me is very emotional. I don't know, it is really emotional to me. I like some happy songs. But for me, it's usually like if I'm feeling something, if I'm feeling a certain type of way. And like I told you with my kids situation, that was really the whole thing that got me to want to write. A lot of the songs I write are like hurt, sad type of songs. And that first album was really that for me, because I was super sad. I was just sad, and this second one isn't, I'm not as sad. I still love my children and I want to see them and I wish I could. But I am happy. I'm in a good relationship. The woman I'm with, we're going to have a kid in October, another child.
Congratulations.
We're buying 11 acres. We're buying a farm. We moved there in 20 days.
Sounds a lot like a fresh start then. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I have a studio out there. I don't know if you can see over here. I have a little setup. I have a few more guitars, and I have 18i20, Scarlett, all that. I'll eventually have all that. I'll set all my stuff up similar to how you have it right now. And I'll have guys out there. I'm building a little amphitheater out in the farm, so people can go do shows outside. I want to do like outside type of shows, because That's a Texas thing. I think we just like our festivals and we like our music outside, and that's a huge part of our culture here. So it's something I kind of trying to mesh with, so.
That's another question I had for you. Are you guys even able to meet right now with all the restrictions happening, or where's the studio or gig place you meet?
Yeah, so Sam comes over like almost every night,
Okay.
and we occasionally smoke weed. That's our thing. And but outside of that, we don't drink, we don't do anything, but the other thing we do is we go to a storage unit and we practice there in a storage unit. So it's all soundproofed in there, and we have all of our gear in there, and then we just practice. I put my mixer over there. We put a little interface and hit the whole drum set and everything. So we have that going on. We don't,
Any complaints or visits from the police yet?
No, not yet, but it is right by this the city like courthouse.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it is right, like literally the next building over is the courthouse. So I don't know how we haven't gotten called on us, but the drummer Grant knows the owner. So the owners come and watch us sometimes.
Okay.
So it's just one of those. It's like, if they like the music, then maybe they're not going to call the police on us. So.
You have to make sure just to play very, very good music.
Yeah. Don't suck.
Yeah, right. So with the new album being released in a couple of days,
yeah,
are there any other plans besides promoting the album right now for 2021?
So I'm going to do, we're going to do a music video. I was trying to get it for Last Ride finished. The guy fell through, so I have to go find someone else to do a music video for me. Okay. I have my own camera. I like to do animated videos. They're just easier for me. I don't have the ability right now to go out and film everything that I want to film. So I have a really nice camera, but I just haven't been able to use it. Like at least for music video. I've used it for, a protest. We did a Black Lives Matter protest. That we were a part of. Me and Sam went and marched for 8 days with these people out here, and trying to just help like show support for the community. Yeah. And then, but yes, I mean, I just haven't gotten to put it to use. So basically what we're doing right now is like animated stuff, a little animated music video thing or something, just something to keep someone's attention. For me, it's about the music really. So but what you're asking is the thing that I'm struggling with the most is this medium of the internet and how to get your word out. Same thing with your review. Like you do awesome reviews. Seriously. You're the best reviewer I have found by far. And your name should be more well-known, but it's hard to get your name out, except for the only thing you can do is make more content. So I'm trying to do, that is my goal. I've made that very clear to the band and the guys, and they each have their own little project. So Sam is in Limit Configuration, and then Colton and Grant are in this another little they're all death metal musicians. I'm the only one who's not. They're playing a band called Mouth of Cronus also. But I would say Under the Gallows, like we've released more music than either of their bands combined, already, so it's just one of those weird, and we're about to release more. So it's just one of those, I think the way I want to be in my head is like Willie Nelson. He just wrote so many songs. Like that's what I want to do, because I think the internet kind of supports that right now. If you just make content, whether that be songs or videos, reviews, whatever you're doing, that's how you get your word out. And I don't know, like you said, this is getting more of seems like it's getting more counts than some of your reviews, some of the good interviews, so it's like you have to kind of have both mediums, because you love to write. I love to write, but I would love to make music, but I have to share that music somehow. So it's like, I'm almost in marketing now, I've turned into some type of a marketer that I don't really like that part of it, but I have to do it. So
that's with the studio time I was asking, because nowadays musicians are not only picking up the instruments, playing and going home, but they're also marketing. They're also, I don't know, these, how do you call the people on the streets yelling out,
busker,
use extra.
Yeah.
you really got to deliver everything you have to the people's doorsteps, so to speak. So
yeah,
that's not the
it's tough. Yeah. For me, we have physical albums that we're going to be able to make, like allow you to people to buy, but we have merchandise, things like that, Bandcamp, all that. But even that, the only thing that really drives our sales is when somebody sees me. That's it. And I know that sounds weird. It's not a narcissistic thing or anything like that. It's just me being aware of that. Yeah. And like, I'll get on Reddit. I do this thing, public access network on Reddit, which you could try sometime with some of your guys, but I've gotten like 50,000 or 75,000 views on that in, an hour or whatever. And and I'll see my music jump during that time. But after that, like whenever I'm just releasing it, I mean, you don't get Spotify does not, their algorithm doesn't really work too great.
No,
So it's
that's one of the main problems is put out an album there and no one is interested. Put on one track every single month and that you will attract way more people this way.
That's what we're doing 3 instead of doing 1, because I saw everyone do. I want to do 3 at a time. So that's what we kind of do is I'll write 3 in like a month or 2. We get them all recorded, put together, and then put them on an album, one final compilation album to sell for a smaller price. Because I mean, the 3 at a time we do for like $5 or something like that is usually what we do. So
it was the same with the Under the Gallows project. You had this 4-part EP, I guess, that was transformed in one album once it was out there, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the exact route we're taking this time. It seemed like it worked, and it grew I haven't paid for any views. I haven't paid for any followers on Facebook. I've seen people that do that. You can see like they have 200,000. Yeah, you can't do that.
No, because it's plain simple. People like me, if they want to know if you're really famous, I look on Spotify, and if I see the numbers are really, really big, but no one is commenting, no one is interacting with your Facebook page, or no one is even.
It's fake. That's how you tell.
Yeah. And it's so easy to spot. So I don't know how this still is a thing.
Yeah, me neither. It's people. What I think it is right now, what's driving it, and this is kind of off topic, but just real quick, what I believe the reason that people are doing it is because these algorithms that Spotify and YouTube have, they don't really care. They don't penalize people for cheating. So, and all they care about is that top number. So whenever one of your songs hits 100,000, I think, there's some limit in the algorithm that says, all right, this is going to be exposed to more people now, and we're going to put it in more of our playlists because it's been heard a certain amount of times. I'm not willing to do that for our music because I want to actually see the analytics behind it. I want to see, the stats. I want to see where my biggest fans coming from, and like, honestly, Germany is one of the biggest places that we have right now, as far as like outside of United States. It's like the second or third biggest country we have as far as people who like our music. So it's like one of those, like, if I ever was big enough, if we ever, the Under the Gallows grew to a certain point, we could go on a tour and know, okay, Germany is where our fan base is, or, whatever, maybe it's a certain, town in Germany, like Berlin or, Spangdahlem, or I don't know, I'm just throwing that, but if you were able to do that and be able to look at your analytics correctly and see that nothing was skewed, you didn't cheat. So you're not seeing a ton of stuff from like Mexico, because I've seen them like that. It'd be like 100,000 views from Mexico.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those for me. I don't hate on people that do it. I think everyone's trying to make their own way, but I don't think that's the way to do it because you lose so much in that,
Maybe it once was the way to do it because people get attracted to a lot of numbers. So if anyone clicks on that, it's gotta be good, obviously. Whatever that is. But in the meantime, people look through and they gotta connect with the music. So it doesn't matter how many clicks you have, even if though you would have 100 clicks on one track. If this track is good, it will multiply itself from
naturally.
Right. And
like naturally it grows. That's what I think too. And I think I suck sometimes. I really do. I hate on myself a lot as a musician. There's certain things obviously. I don't do right. There's certain things I don't do right. But the thing I believe about myself is that I'm decent. I'm decent at what I do. Enough people like it that I think if I keep making content, there's going to be enough of a following to do it. And I think it's similar with yours. Like and you really can apply this to any field. I believe that. I mean, I did air traffic control, if you know what that is, in the military for 10 years. So, I mean, that's a super stressful job. And I mean, you can apply this. Yeah. And it's like one of those, and music is super, I mean, it's fun for me. I went from a high stress to no stress job. But anyway, my point is though, it's like this exposure, and if it's good, if I work hard at whatever I do, if it's quality thing, like what you were saying, if it's a quality product, people are going to buy it. People are going to watch it, your reviews, right. And you have good conversation. You don't have to do this, late night type of show where it's 4 to 8 minutes and cut them off. You let them, talk and then, and then send them on their way, obviously, and get back to your reviews. But I really want to thank you for, having me on here. Cause this
You're very welcome, because this is at least a thing I could do to give something back, because nowadays, as a listener, you just get the tracks handed for free. Buy a Spotify premium, or even take the damn thing for free, and you have all the music remember back in the day where you have to where you had to switch cassettes on in
Yeah.
school and something like that. And I did that, and back there, music was a rare thing, and
Yes.
you waited for weeks or months. You went to the
To hear
store
one
and
song.
to hear one song or one album or one group. And
Hmm.
nowadays, you just turn off, not even your computer, turn on your cell phone or your tablet, and there it is. And
Yeah, availability is huge here.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I consider my mission, is to pick out the best ones and just to show the world. There's another thing outside of mainstream, and that's all the
Yeah.
people who try actually to make this work on their own, who have to
Mhm.
invest all the time with marketing, with advertising, with
And money. I
and
was
money.
poor for the last year. I mean, just poor for making this album. I mean, I lived in a very small apartment. We're still here, but we finally saved this last 6 months. We got a little money from the music and all that, but we're buying a farm now. Like, but I mean, it's hard. This isn't easy for me. I mean, you have to live very at the poverty level, basically, as a musician nowadays, unless you have connections. If you have connections, then you're going to be fine. But
But who
yeah, I was
has
living.
actually?
Yeah, I know. And I wasn't born like that. I was born in a super poor family, drug addicts, abuse, all this. I mean, it was really bad,
Mm.
as a kid anyway. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I think I'm a good person because of my experiences. So I can't hate on those things, but, it's just one of those,
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
wasn't handed to you, but you had to work yourself your way to this point. So
Yeah. And I'm not even that far. So I'm like, I got so much more work to do, so it's, and I
I
want to,
I
yeah.
think as long as you're even thinking about music, you will have to do a lot of work, because the music industry keeps changing.
Hmm.
Even
There's
your
always someone
taste or
better.
your genre is changing. So there's always the competition,
Hmm.
even the struggle with locations, and all of a sudden there's a pandemic who prevents you
Yeah.
from going live every weekend. And this,
Yeah.
I'm sure, this was also a big part of you
Destroyed.
guys. Yeah, of you
Hmm.
guys just being recognized, because people could just go into the right bar or into the onto the right location and just see you there. And this all of a sudden, this isn't the case anymore. I hope that it will be the case shortly,
Me
that you
too.
can go live. But yeah, there's a constant change and movement in the field of music, so I guess the work never ends.
Yeah, yeah. That we're probably going to write in the next year. Just so you know, we're finishing this 15 songs, and then we'll have that finished probably June, and then we're going to start another album. We're going to try to do 13 or 14 for that one. We're still not sure, but basically, my idea for Under the Gallows is every year, at least once a year, release a full album, not EPs, like a full album, 10
Mhm.
or more songs, somewhere around there, and then try to and have them be quality songs. Like I can't have every song be a banger. Not every one of them is going to be an amazing song. But I try to write every song to the best of my ability, and then if it sounds good to someone, then I make money off it. And if it doesn't, then oh well, and I'll have to go try a new way to do it. And that's for me. I've had a few busts on songs, I think, but I haven't recorded the busts. Those are all private. No one knows them. But I mean, I've written. If I could show you before we leave, I want to show you the audience one thing. This is how much work I do. So this is my Google Keep, and you can see these are all songs. The blue ones are finished songs, but each one of those are lyrics. And I write all of the time,
Obviously.
yeah, it just scroll. I mean, it's still scrolling. I could go
Yeah,
fast too,
yeah.
but I mean, it just that's how much work you have to put into it. I believe that all the time. I'll be sitting there with my girlfriend Kylie, and I'll be sitting in bed or something, and I'm like, oh, I got an idea, and I just have to write it down, And she's like, oh my god, But she understands what it is. It's this thing. I'll dream of a melody or something in my head, and I'll wake up and immediately like I'll have to hum it in my phone.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of eggs stuff like
It's a
that I do.
musician thing, I think, because you can be in the grocery store picking up, I don't know, eggs, and still think of it. Oh, wait, where's my where's my thing to
Yeah.
write it down? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
For me, everything is, and same with writing, I'm sure. Everything that you see, you're like, I can write about that in some way or make it, mine or, and that's what I've tried to do. I'll take little sayings and I'll write an entire song around that. Like the music already written, because like I told you, I always write the music first, but I write a saying. Like I heard one, what is it? Down from, I don't know, it was that it's the World War I or World War II movie, is a Dunkirk. I think it was Dunkirk. There was a line in at the end of the movie that took, and it was something like, he travels the fastest who travels alone. I've used that at the very end of my song, that word or that phrase. And I wrote an entire song around that idea. And I do that a lot too. So like you said, even picking out an egg, sometimes I'll have an entire song idea come out of just the thought of an egg or something like that, so I always have to keep my mind open, and like, be willing to write about something maybe uncomfortable too. I've written about uncomfortable things I don't want to talk about, because guys, we don't share things as well emotionally, but the best way for me to share is through music. So that's what I do.
It's a great thing to just vent off. So it's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. Then I guess as soon as you got something new there, you can be sure of the fact that I'm listening.
Yeah.
So, guys, if you want to know more about Brandon and his band Under the Gallows, please make sure to check out the links in the description or down this blog post. Mm-hmm. And that's it for right now. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. And Florian, I want to say next year, I'm going to try to get another interview with you.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you later, brother.
Set the date.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Be safe. Bye.
Bye.